thank you for waking up with Happy Ass, where we come together to grow in mind, body, and spirit so we can in turn go out and make the world a brighter and sweeter place to live for ourselves and for others. Yesterday, we talked a little bit about a few things. We were talking about money. You know, I know it's hilarious I'm talking about money because I have not been the best with money in the past at all. And we're going to talk about that. And I didn't realize that money was going to spark, I should have known it, but I didn't realize that money would spark such an emotion out of people. I've heard from people saying, you know, they just can't, they still feel like they don't have any, or they worry about it, and they just don't have good emotions and feelings around money. And my problem is I don't really care enough about it. I've been really so flippant about money, which is kind of ironic because remember when I was raising my kids, I didn't have any. I had none. I had no money. I mean, I literally drove a $500 car, y'all. A $500 car. And one car, like I told you, that was a permanent convertible. You couldn't put the top down unless somebody held it down. I mean, we had our electricity turned off, our water turned off, all those things. And so my attitude about money was just work really, really, really hard. Just work really, really, really hard. But you know what? I may not can work really, really hard till I'm 90, so I'm going to have to figure something out. I'm going to have to get a little smarter. You know, so people's attitudes about money are really, really interesting. And I had two different perspectives growing up. Like I said, you know, we learned two things from our parents, what to do, what not to do. From my mother was very good with money. She was so good. My dad was horrible. But he was also very generous. Mom was generous too. But you know what I've realized? Like I said, it's my quest to become better with money. That is one of my absolute incentives this year. Haven't done really well with it at all. So I'm taking a day. I'm going to look at my calendar, and I'm taking a day to look at my goals that I have for myself for this year. I'm not giving up on them, but I will look and see which ones do I need to stick to. Money was one of them. I'm trying to be smarter with money. And guess what? The plan to work harder is not a good plan. You know, because they asked the question of rich dad, poor dad, are you working for money or is money working for you? Well, I know the answer to that question for me, and I need to change that. How about you? In the story of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the thing was Robert Kawasaki, I can't say his name right, he had a friend named Mike. Robert's dad was by all means successful. He was a professor. He made good money, but they spent more than they made. He always had to work hard. He always worried about money, stressed about money, and they lived in a nice house. The other dad, Mike's dad, who is the rich dad, they lived in a pretty worn down house. Wasn't real fancy, wasn't real nice, didn't have a god art in it, I'm sure. And they were wealthy because they knew the trick of letting money work for them. So when he was little, they got together and they got toothpaste tubes and tried to make money. And they had to be told pretty quickly that, you know, that's called counterfeiting. You can't melt down toothpaste tubes. We used to be lead and make nickels. So they realized, they asked Mike's dad, how can we become wealthy? And what was so cool about that is Mike's dad told them, Robert and Mike, that no one, out of the 150 employees he had, many of them had been with him years and years and years, not one person other than those two children asked him, how do you make money? How do you make money work for you? And I find that so interesting. And, you know, I think a lot of times we don't have stuff because we don't ask for it. We don't pursue it. We don't study it. We don't try to figure it out. We just assume that we're stuck where we are. Y'all, we are not stuck where we are. If we're living and we're breathing, we're not stuck where we are. Another thing people do surrounding money, they blame other people about it. They blame people. You know, I could blame, I don't say his name, this person who I've spent a lot of money fighting this one bad guy. I could blame him. You know what? No. I got involved in it. I'm the one that got involved in it, so I've got to take the consequences. But I can't stop, and I can figure a way out. And I love this, what he said to him when they were talking, and he was trying to teach him how to make money, and he was, I think he paid him like 30 cents. He paid him 30 cents to work at his factory and do things for him, just so he could teach them the value and the principles of how to make money. But he got mad because the little boy got mad. Robert actually got mad and said, wait a minute, I deserve to work for more than this. Even my dad says that I have rights and I deserve to make more than 30 cents an hour. I'm just going to quit. And he said, you know what, that's what most employees do. They just get mad and they quit, instead of trying to figure out a way. But this is what I love what he says. He says, if you think I am the problem, then you have to change me. If you think someone else is the problem, your job, your boss, whatever, then you have to change them. I'm always the problem. I'm always the solution. If someone else is the problem, then I don't have a solution because they have to change. If I look to me for the change, then I can always change it. I love that. That is so empowering to me. And, I was talking about my parents, about my mom and my dad. And one of the things that I have come to realize as I look at my life and look at the things that I've learned and things I'm having to unlearn and relearn, a lot of unlearning and relearning, I am thankful for the dysfunction. I know that sounds so silly, but many times when I'm writing in my journal, my affirmation journal and my gratitude journal, I say, God, I thank you for the dysfunction. Because without that dysfunction, I don't think I'd be where I am today. Without that dysfunction, I don't think I would have the tenacity to grow and explore. Without that dysfunction, I don't think I would have the courage to say, hey man, I'm messing up. I'm not doing it right. Let me reset. Let me reboot. Let me recalibrate. And that's what I'm doing right now. And the thing is, with money, with anything, we've got to focus on what we have control of. So one of the things I'm going to do, and I'm going to ask you what you're going to do if you want money to work for you instead of you working for money. How many of you have all kinds of apps that you pay for on your phone because you paid for it and it says, first 2 months free, and you forget, and you got them on your phone? Y'all, I bet you, I'm going to sit down with Christy this week, I bet you I can find $200 a month for things that I bought and don't need, or I got apps for and stuff. I'll tell you what I find out. So do that. Look at your phone, look at your stuff, look and see if you're really using stuff. Like, for instance, on my TV. I don't ever watch TV anymore. You kidding me? I don't ever watch TV. I probably have Netflix, Apple. I've got at least 4 or 5 or 6. I probably do. So I'm going to check those out. So I'm going to ask you to let money work for you instead of you working for money. Go and look and see if you have all kinds of things open and stuff. But the most important thing, more important than any of these things, and I've learned it by talking to y'all and also reading about a lot of it, is we have such misguided notions about money. We get all verklempt around it. So if you have learned bad habits around money, or if you have learned bad attitudes, or you have a bad script or bad soundtrack, get rid of that. Work on that first, because this is the deal. Just like people in weight loss and drug addiction, there's always an underlying thing that keeps you stuck. There's always something underneath the thing, okay? Figure out what that is and work on it. And the first step is admitting it. So I'm coming to you very, very humbly and telling you that I have a lot of bad attitudes about money. Not that I have a bad attitude. I have an attitude that I don't care about it like I should. So I'm working on that. So let me know what you're working on. You can either tell me in the group or you can tell me in private, because it's fun to see what we're all working on. Okay, so let me see if there's anything I want to tell you. Oh, I love this one, and we'll talk about this later. He was talking to the kids about the fact that the people had never asked him how to make money. Not a single employee out of 150 asked him how to make money. And these kids had asked him. These kids wanted to know, and they're learning. And he told them something that's so cool. It says, once you see, and the moment you see opportunity, you see them for the rest of your life. Ah, love it. The moment you see opportunity, you will see them for the rest of your life. It's all in our attitude, y'all. It is. I'm going to say that to the cows come home. Okay, here we go. Money works for me. Here's our affirmation. In the past, I have not had the healthiest attitude about money. My best plan was to work hard and make more. I am becoming wiser and more inquisitive. I am curious and I am learning each and every day. I cannot erase the past, but I can plan my future. I am thankful that I can learn smarter and healthier ways to manage my money so it does not manage me. I am no longer just working for money. Money works for me, and so it is. Okie doke, y'all. If you like this topic of money and you like this topic of just learning some different things and talking about some things that nobody wants to talk about, send people my way, please. I love you with all my mind, heart, soul, and body. And maybe by the end of the week, I'm going to be super, super, super smart about money. What do you think? All right, y'all. Be sweet, y'all. Bye.